Welcome back to some more Halo 2 Legendary Deathless content. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys the Arbiter. This is the first mission where you play as the Arbiter, kind of where the game takes a pretty drastic turn, especially when compared to Halo 1, when you actually get to play as an alien. Um, as an alien, you have a bit of a different strategy for most combat situations because of the active camouflage that they give you. As you can see there, it really comes in handy to sneak past the enemies, or in a lot of instances for this run and the speed run route, you just go invisible and sword fly or sword cancel past everybody. As you can see, I just went invisible and sword canceled past the entire first fight of the mission, and we're already onto the hangar within a minute of the mission. And here's another cool thing that you can do with the Sentinels. Since they kind of float up in the air, they're like perfect targets to do sword cancels with. So you can do stuff like that where you just kind of fly across the room and get to where you need to go in a hurry. So here's a part of the hangar where you actually have to kill quite a few enemies before the level will progress. I'm gonna go out here where the enemies can't really get to me and just snipe everybody. Snipe a few Sentinels and like 3 or 4 grunts and 2 elites before the mission can progress and we can get on with our lives. There's actually a decent amount of combat in this level, although most of it in an ideal world is just you running past enemies, using the invisibility to your advantage, and sword canceling or sword flying if you get the opportunity to past everybody. Here a few fuel rod grunts are going to spawn in, and so just take out 1 or 2 of them and the teammates will clean up the stragglers, and we can grab a fresh sniper that's there on the ground and move on to the next section. So here I opt to kill these elites, although it would be a bad strategy to just sword cancel past them if you can. I believe that's like what the speedrun route would be. Actually, the speedrun route would be to skip the hangar completely, but that trick is pretty tough to execute, and you can actually die if you mess it up. So most of the tricks that I do in this legendary deathless route don't involve any chances of dying, although there are some instances where doing a trick with a chance to die is still safer than trying to play the game normally, just because the combat in this game is insanely difficult. In Halo 1, doing a legendary deathless route, you could kind of get away with just killing everything, because, well, to be honest, the combat is much easier in Halo 1. In my opinion, a lot more fun, but yeah, the honest take is that it is a lot easier. And here, I'm trying to get an angle on this Sentinel to do a sword cancel, and I finally get it last second. That part is semi-scary because if you alert the guys, they do get very aggressive. And we're probably going to see here in a second that they're going to chase me down this hallway. So that's why I throw that nade there, to keep the guys from chasing me too hard. So now we're coming up to pretty much the last section of the level. It's a really quick level, really fun, fast-paced level, just sword canceling past everybody, killing a few guys here and there. Especially if you mess up your movement, you do have to do a bit of combat, but for the most part, that is the entire level. Now we're kind of just gonna fly to the end trigger here, and there actually is one more part where we can die, but the chances of that are pretty low. You would have to mess up quite bad to die in this section here coming up. There's going to be like 8 fuel rod grunts, and if they see you, then they're just going to obliterate you immediately. And so you just go invis, drop down here, and a trigger, and there you have it. The Arbiter legendary deathless in 4.5 minutes. Slightly different than the speedrun route, but actually overall almost the exact same. Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks so much for checking out the Halo 2 content today. We've got the Oracle coming soon, so keep an eye out for that. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.